under 2 weeks away from Black Friday. Gonna talk some sales. Anything's changed since the last time we talked. Also back at the Garcade. Talk the 2024 leaked cabinets. Go over a couple that I feel really strong about. Check out this gem I just saw. Hey, Mr. Sulu. Free photograph. Welcome to this week's Walk and Talk as a recording of this Sunday, November 12th. Less than 2 weeks away from Black Friday. First we're going to stop at the Garcade. We're going to revisit. We haven't been here for a while. Talk a couple of cabinets I feel really strong about. We'll run in there. A lot of people already going in. It's a great arcade. One of the best in Wisconsin. And just a reminder, wristbands are required. We got our wristbands. The Garcade. November 12th. And of course, wristbands are required. I just want to say I was greeted with track and field right when we walked in. Front entrance is right here, and since we're revisiting the Garcade and we're talking 2024 releases, this wasn't on the list, but the 80s title, I'm still feeling really confident that we will see this. This will be that 80s cab that they were talking about, the one that got delayed. And I think it's because of the control situation here. You know, it just, first of all, will this be sturdy enough for people really hitting those buttons? And the fact there's no joysticks. And of course, what started this out was Big Reese's post on that leak of the Alien vs. Predator cab. A lot of us touched on this last week. And just walking past Rampage, which is actually right next to Track and Field, let's check out that artwork. I mean, who wouldn't want this? I mean, I know it's not like a must-have, but it's just nostalgia, guys. The Rampage True 3-player control deck is exactly what we're getting with Alien vs. Predator. I think we're gonna see a Neo Geo SNK Big Red. And, you know, the fact that we can still get the MVSX, this is gonna be completely different. And what I mean by that is, we're gonna get online play, and I don't think it's gonna be per se the same 50 games, forget the Hilo hack for a second, the same 50 games that we got with the Unico MVSX. Just imagine, and I played last night on my MVSX, I played the Punisher. It's on the Hilo hack, and it's a great beat 'em up. The only thing that could have been better is online play, and I'm not gonna fault Unico for not giving us online play, not on the Hilo hack, but just in general on their 50 games due to licensing and all that stuff. But if we can get 14 titles, I mean, I'm not talking about a la carte, you know, adding your own titles, whatever that first rumor might have been. They give us 14 games and they're online. It'd be huge, because it's just so much better to play online with someone, to play a beat 'em up online, and having that with the Big Red. I do feel confident we will see something from SNK, something SNK related, a Neo Geo Big Red in 2024. Actually, since the last time we were here, they do have some new cabinets, and Lethal Enforcers is one of them. My favorite shooting game of all time. This is a strong reason why I did purchase the retro shooter kit, that I put the Buy Stuff mod into my Terminator 2 to play this game. And actually, the last time we saw this, it did have the original black guns. If there's any image here, you can see that's how the guns looked at the last free play, the vintage Vault Arcade, which we'll go back to soon. But the fact that I didn't know they had this, I wanted to talk Lethal Enforcers. I mean, just look at that side art. Lethal Enforcers, which was on that 2024 leaked list, for $4.99, maybe $5.99. I think people would buy it. Anything more, I mean, it's just people are expecting a sale at that point. Pac-Man Royale. I'm convinced we're gonna see Pac-Man Royale too. Reasoning behind this, it's Pac-Man #1. people, I mean, they've sold more Pac-Man than any other arcade cabinet. And we keep seeing new renders of Pac-Man, the last one being the XL. Well, what haven't they given us yet? They haven't given X-Men. It's just like, can you hear that? If you go on Amazon right now, you're gonna see the all-black Pac-Man head-to-head. X-Men's just like pumping loud again. And the Ms. Pac-Man, all-black, head-to-head, sitting at $5.99 with $50 coupon, bringing it to $5.50. Still pretty high. But why did they just randomly come out with this? I think it's a test to see how are these gonna do. Because if we get a Pac-Man Royale, what I think is gonna happen, I don't think we're gonna see a pub table like with that pawn. I think it's gonna be similar to this. The most anticipated cabinet, and by far, no doubt. And this can be an argument here. Luckily, they're right next to each other. Usually when you go to an arcade, you're gonna see Smash TV and Robotron 2084 right next to each other. And actually, Track and Field, I believe, was right after Robotron, and Excitebike has taken its place. There's also another Nintendo cabinet that does play Super Mario Brothers, which I did play last night on the Bobby Sarah. And it's good because I'm trying to play some games a little bit more than I have been. You know, Friday nights, Saturday nights are perfect to just take a little bit and play some games, whether it's one of your arcades or a console. And I did a little bit of both. I played a little bit of Punisher on the MVSX, and then I went on the Bobby Sarah, played some Super Mario Brothers, some Road Blasters. I actually put the Punisher NES game in. The game is impossible, but Excitebike was not here. You could just kind of see that whole Nintendo theme here. Robotron 2084, Smash TV, day one purchase. Just gotta believe they'd give us the Smash TV, but it's gotta come out like this. Like, they gotta do something where you get that kind of Superman shield coming out. And because, you know, Arcade1up does different things, you know, the controls aren't always perfect. You're not gonna see something like this. You'll see 4 of them, and that's why I think we're gonna get a Smash TV theme skin, because, you know, Robotron being only the 2. I mean, people would recognize Smash TV before Robotron at a store like Walmart. They go on Target, online. And don't forget about Total Carnage. And out of the 3 games, I'm really excited about Total Carnage on there, along with Lethal Enforcers, Alien vs. Predator. Heck, even the SNK Big Red. These would be cool. And throw in Track and Field. And I think that would be like it. Like, those are like the new releases. You know, Pac-Man Royale, kind of left them out. And then they're rehashing. They're giving us more deluxe and XLs. Like, will we see something from Konami in the future besides a Lethal Enforcers? Will we see an X-Men, a Ninja Turtles? Like, that's all speculation down the road, but it is exciting. You know, you get past the sales this year, you get into 2024, what else will we get? Wayfair is currently running early Black Friday. Something I did notice today, as we're standing in front of the NBA Jam Tournament Edition, this is actually the cheapest way to buy the NBA Jam Deluxe, which is themed as that Tournament Edition. You can see the artwork here, and just compare this to the side of the cab. You do get that NBA logo. Now the midway, you're not seeing on the side art here, but they did a good job, the marquee. It's exactly the same. But check out this price, $519.26, 26% off. Don't pay attention to the $6.99, it's actually $5.99. Shop Hippo did drop this to $5.99, but Wayfair, of all places, like usually when you see sales from Wayfair, they're pretty lackluster, like they're not the greatest. This is tempting, guys, $519.26. I know we're gonna get Smash TV, Robotron 2084, and of course, Total Carnage. These three game lineups, this would be a great cabinet to have. I mean, when in 2024 will we see this? Actually, this spot right here always has people playing, and it's just a matter of time before people will be sitting here. And that's why I came here early. I wanted to get a shot of Pac-Man Royale for just that reason. This is a title I totally expect to see in 2024. Sometimes timing doesn't always work out. Just because there's a sale going on doesn't mean we can all make it happen. When Shack Jam was on sale for $3.99, I couldn't swing it at the time. I bought Fast and Furious. I couldn't do two cabinets that billing cycle. I missed out on an incredible deal. $3.99 for this was great. I keep saying $2.99 and I'll pick it up. There's reasons behind that. The fact that I do have the NBA Jam Countercade now, and also something to go with it. There is a plan behind this. But last year NFL Blitz came out $5.99. There was so many, and they were just offering crazy deals. Like people were getting this for under $200. I mean, if you could just believe that, how insane. Imagine Shack Jam going for the prices that NFL Blitz went for last year. I don't expect that. That would be nice. But a cabinet we could see have similar deals like we saw with NFL Blitz. It just depends how many of these did they order. There was a ton of Blitz, there still is a ton of Blitz. But this other cab started to drop in price this last week, and maybe it's the start of some incredible deals. At Apt Electronics, we did talk about this Friday night. I just wanted to revisit this because this is a cabinet we all know was overpriced. But you know what? I paid $5.99 myself for NFL Blitz last year. Around this time, actually. I think it was in December. I remember looking at Walmart one night. I actually bought Simpsons for $1.99. That's the whole thing. Is you go to a store, you're looking for something else, and you're enticed with an incredible deal. If this was $3.99, $3.49, dare I say $2.99, would you pick this up? And we'll be seeing a lot of XLs next year. And one of them, definitely a lot of people feel the same way. We'll see Star Wars. And just stand in front of the actual Star Wars arcade. It's gonna look really similar to this. The only thing they could change from what we saw on the 2023 release is maybe they give us some kind of waterfall deck. Like if you could improve anything. Because they did that with the Pac-Man. Is there a Pac-Man over here? With the slanted street, is there a Pac-Man over here? Of course there is. There's so many Pac-Man cabs, Ms. Pac-Man. I mean, that's why we're seeing so many at stores. But, you know, they gave us the recessed monitor, both the Deluxe and the XL this year. Like, it was a vast improvement from Arcade1up. So the only thing that they could improve on the Star Wars, in my opinion, giving us an XL, a little bit better of a marquee, not that vinyl sticker, is giving us that waterfall deck. Like that would be huge, you know, not having that plexi. You look at the new Big Buck Hunter, the Street Fighter 2 Deluxe, it doesn't have that plastic deck protector. It's a special coating. Hopefully we get that with the Star Wars XL. Who wouldn't want this? Any way to get bigger cabinets, so, you know, it's like going to an arcade. To actually have this at your home, we all want bigger, and I think everybody would want a Star Wars XL. Turtles is another one, and actually, it's funny that the 2 free plays in the area. I mean, it's hard to have every arcade like this. Isn't Galloping Ghost, and I promise you guys, we will go to a Galloping Ghost soon. I'm kind of saving it in the winter months when, you know, it's very limited on like what we can do. You don't see a lot of Turtles in Time cabinets. See a 3-wheel off-road. Just love that marquee. But we always see the OG, the Ninja Turtles arcade. And, you know, just staying on the XL, you know, category for a second, this is definitely, it's too bad they don't have the side art. This is definitely, they give us a Turtles XL, this artwork. Yeah, I know the Cowabunga collection was on that leak list. Like I said a week ago, we're not going to get everything on that list. But the Turtles, for example, is a license that Arcade1up still holds because of the Nickelodeon. It's different than something like X-Men. And what gave that away is when they brought the 1-player Countercade out earlier in the year, they're still able to give us Turtles. Giving us an XL with this artwork would be huge. Like, who wouldn't want to get this? You do run into problems with the 4-player deck, but that's something to worry about in the future. First of all, give us the XL. Just absolutely love to come here. Look at Cosmotrons over here, the size of this. It's a great arcade. You can see a lot of people. Sunday, getting closer to 12 o'clock noon. You see, like I was saying, people will just flock to that Pac-Man Battle Royale, and people of all ages coming here and playing these games. So, very special place, and this is why we collect what we do. Absolutely love the arcades, and coming to a free play. It's always a good time. Always cool to come here and compare some of these arcades to, you know, what we could get from Arcade1up at games. New Wave toys. I mean, just seeing some of this. Always love coming here. And seeing the best shooting game of all time, Lethal Enforcers. Was I surprised when I walked up to this today. And titles like Spy Hunter along with Road Blasters. Like, I think down the road we will see this. And even though we can get these games on a multicade, on a mod, a racing mod from Buy Stuff, you're not going to get this steering wheel. You're not going to get the Road Blaster steering wheel. Like, there's a place for dedicated cabinets, for the artwork, the marquees. You know, there's so many of us that want this. And again, what we want is different than what we're going to get, what they have planned, because retailers do have a huge say in a lot of these titles. But Spy Hunter, you kind of hope that maybe Spy Hunter is that 80s release cabinet, then Track and Field, which we saw when we walked in. Because that, what a loop that would be, huh? Could you imagine if they gave us Spy Hunter in 2024? But yeah, I mean, the steering wheel, there's a place for this. Like, there's something that multicades can't give us. And that's the original look. And that's why we want dedicated cabs. I don't want to leave at games out of this walk and talk. Forgot about them last week. Looking at the pins at the Garcade, they don't have an Addams Family, but they do have a Star Trek The Next Generation, and, you know, a rumored skin that I couldn't get confirmation at the Pinball Expo from one of the At Games representatives. I said I wanted to hold out for the Star Trek pinball, something my dad would have absolutely loved, and I totally want this. But I gotta tell you, the improvements that they made on Addams Family, the pinball, the coin doors being centered. I know, you know, having the Addams Family logos bothering some people, but that topper, when I saw that in person, I was ashamed this isn't on. For some reason it's down. You can see the other pins are working. But the topper for that Addams Family It's actually the same size as this back glass. We were talking 7 feet tall, but it didn't light up and it looked dark. The fact that that lights up now, I didn't really notice the coin door. I was just so excited to see it in person, to be honest with you. But it did bother me that that topper did not light up. Yeah, you can see that it's there, but it's just so dark, it's not lit up, so you're not gonna see that At Games Legends pinball logo right there. You're gonna see the Addams Family instead. I do like that. I guess you're gonna see that right there now, where you see that black strip. To be honest with you, it was kind of an eyesore when I was there. I would have rather seen the Addams Family. If that means it stays up all the time, so be it. It's a great looking pinball. I have a perfect spot for it. But yeah, the coin door being centered. This moving down there, you're getting the Addams Family on the back glass, and that lit up. It's a big improvement. And before we head out of here, one last thing about At Games. Currently on Amazon, you're gonna see sales on their pinball packs, $3 off. Now these are not for the 4K, but I just wanna mention that whenever there's a sale on these, always a good time to jump on there. Why pay full price when they do monthly sales? You're seeing the $50 off on the Deluxe, the Galaga Deluxe, the Street Fighter 2 Deluxe. We keep talking about this. You can pick this up for $450. The At Games Micro, currently $100 off. $399's high. I think this is a $299 pinball, but it is on sale on Amazon. But those pinball packs, definitely the time to buy. This just lit up. Kind of hoping that this ever focuses that Star Trek would have turned on, but yeah, just going over the pinball news here. The deals on At Games. $3 is $3, guys, and these packs are definitely worth it. There is value with the Pinball Micro and with these incentives here to buy the packs. Looking out of the Garcade, the sun is just on us. It's actually a nice day. Actually, the next couple of days in Wisconsin, close to 60 degrees. Like, can you believe it? The thing about Wisconsin is, I'm gonna try to get in the shade here, the weather just changes. So if it's really nice out one day, it could just be like the worst of worst the next. Always a fun place to go to the Garcade. They're so cool, they let me film there. Great cabinets, always cool to see new stuff. That Lethal Enforcers. Let's run to Walmart and we'll see if there's anything going on in store today. Now, last time we were here, we saw they had moved the Arcade1ups into one of those main aisles. Currently, NFL Blitz, somebody is having a great time honking this horn. NFL Blitz was $3.99 and the peasant versions were sitting at $2.99. We'll see if anything's changed yet. I'm guessing as we get closer to Black Friday, we'll notice a price change. Prices should probably be the same as we saw last week. But we'll run in and we'll get confirmation. We do have 4 cabinets that if the sales are right, the price is right, like Bob Barker, I will buy. Because of cases like last year, for example, looking for NFL Blitz, finding Simpsons for $1.99, ended up leaving with Simpsons. Trying to keep myself in check to avoid like FOMO, but I'll talk about it when we get into Walmart. Wow, and look at this, guys.
How you doing, sir?
All right, how are you?
Hey, man. So,
Okay, guys, we couldn't film. I guess I was flashing around the camera too much. I gotta watch this. Sometimes I just get so darn excited to see Arcade1ups. Really interesting. We were here a week ago, and they had just, it was a stack of the arcades right in that aisle. Only a couple of Blitz, MK30th, and Pac-Man remaining. And what's interesting is, you know, we know to hold out on the best deal. It was $3.99 for Blitz, $2.99 for the peasants. But does everyone else walking in, driving up to Walmart, know to wait till Black Friday? Wait till we see these get lower, because they will. I mean, right here, you just see, I mean, I did get a couple of shots last week, and you can just take half of that is all that was remaining. So it was $2.99 for the peasants and then $3.99 for the NFL Blitz. So yeah, they're starting to get picked over, and this is one of the rare Walmarts. It's probably 2 or 3 in the area. I mean, not like in this city, but close by, that do carry Arcade1ups, and out of 2 of those 3 stores, it's all of a sudden issued a film there. So, you know, we might not be, we'll have to sneak the camera in Black Friday to see if there's any incentives, because we're coming back here, guys. Why wouldn't we? And I wanted to do this when we were in store, but thanks to Countercade, sent me a heads up here. Yoga Flame Street Fighter 2 with the riser, guys. Like, this is the full-size cab. $329 at Dell. And, you know, it's funny, last year Dell had Tron, I believe $449. And I know some people took advantage of that sale, but $329, the best we've seen so far. It was $349 at Kohl's a little over a week ago, and the incentive of all that Kohl's cash. But check this out. Also a deal at Kohl's last week was the Arcade1up head-to-head Marvel vs. Capcom Marvel Superheroes cab, $299.99. Now Kohl's had this for a one-day sale, and they were throwing in Kohl's cash, but I think we're gonna see this at Kohl's Black Friday. We'll see the same price with the incentive. So this is something that's like, if you want to jump on here and pick this up for $300 now, there's nothing wrong with that. If you want to wait, take the chance of Kohl's offering Kohl's cash, there's a catch to that. I mean, you're gonna have to find something else to buy, which isn't necessarily a problem, but you know, putting it towards another arcade and spending more money is that's what they want you to do. But if there's something in mind that you're gonna get, it's a great opportunity. But $300 at Dell. Dell having some deals on Arcade1up right now. Yoga Flame, Marvel vs. Capcom, head-to-head, which I always call Marvel Superheroes because the Punisher is on there. And when I was, look at this, so for $100 more, you have the Pawn. So you're getting the deal on Marvel vs. Capcom. Walking in, I said I had 4 cabinets. One of them is this Pawn table. Kohl's, same deal, $299 a week ago with the Kohl's cash. If this comes, so if this was $199, it's a total buy for me, okay? That's what I'm getting at. I'm not saying subtract the Kohl's cash. It has to be $199. The game lineup on here is, my opinion, it's the best out of all the Pawn options. I would definitely pick this cabinet up. This would have been so much easier to do in store, guys. Corporate just chasing us out. You may have come across an email from Arcade1up this weekend. They're here to help. Not sure where to start your holiday shopping? Start with our most popular categories, and there is links to a lot of their cabinets. And one of the cabinets that I'm watching, if this shows up at a store like Walmart, I'm kind of hiding out here because, gosh darn it, guys, I can't film in there. I don't want to cause an issue. So we have this nice little spot here that, you know, they didn't say I couldn't film outside. I am keeping my eye on this one peasant, and I do like the artwork. I mean, if you compare this to the Big Buck Pro Deluxe, it's different artwork. I like that tiger on there. I like the orange. Now this is currently sitting at, I believe, $399. If I went into a store, you know, if we were at Walmart and we saw this in the aisle where we just attempted to film, and it was $199, I'd definitely buy it. Just got to buy a riser and put some kind of art on there, and you're set. You have the 4 Big Buck games, and there is value here. So this is another one. You have the Pawn head-to-head and this Big Buck World. Definitely would purchase, but they both have to be $199, and that's where we stay firm. Is it's easy to go in there and, you know, to see something like Street Fighter 2 Yoga Flame. I already had 3 Street Fighter 2s. It's a great value for $329. Now, if I wouldn't have picked up the Deluxe, maybe I'd be lured, but it's good to have some kind of restraint on something like this. But $199 is $199, guys. And not saying this is going to happen. It's a stretch for anything I'm talking about. I'm just trying to justify the fact of, if I did buy another arcade, these prices would have to be near this, and that $199 for Big Buck World. Santa comes in 43 days, so countdown, guys. Can you believe it's that close to Christmas? 43 days. I'm old Saint Nick. NBA Jam is still at Kohl's, actually getting tucked away under My Arcades. Was once down this aisle by the suitcases. They moved them over here. And this is the cheapest way to pick up NBA Jam. A week ago, priced at $129. Now it's back to $159 with Kohl's Cash. But if you are interested, this will drop again. I want to get into another cabinet or two that if the price was right, Bob Barker, I will be buying. It's no big surprise that those two cabinets are NBA Jam related, and that's why we came here to look at the Countercade. And I want to get into something on this Countercade in a second, but I just want to finish my four that, you know, if they were running great sales, I would be buying. And Shack Jam, $5.99 across the board. If it was $2.99, Arcade1up, I would definitely purchase this year, along with, you can see, $519.26, the cheapest way right now to get that NBA Jam Deluxe. $3.99 I'd buy. So out of those four, Big Buck World, the head-to-head pawn, the NBA Jam Shack Jam, or the Deluxe. Not saying all will happen or if any happen, but you can see, yeah, it's back to $159.99. So if you are in the market for the NBA Jam Countercade, the in-store, this is the one they're talking about. Hold out. Wait till Black Friday, Cyber Monday, for a better incentive as they get closer to that original $129. Now I want to share something about these Countercades is, because that screen's 8x8, if you put this on just a standard counter, so just to kind of get a visual here, let's just say the height of this box is your typical height for a kitchen counter. Got the Countercade on top of here, that screen, like you're still looking down. If it was 17 inches, it'd be a lot more comfortable, but the fact that it isn't, there's a solution to that. My good pal G.I. Joel has made a stand for these Countercades, and just look at this, like add another 13 inches. It just sits right into those rubber feet that are on the bottom perfectly. Rest inside of there. Also Turtles, Marvel superheroes, along with MK2. He just didn't have one to showcase here. Here's a shot from the back side. Like you can see, it's a perfect fit. He's working on some other additional artwork, but check it out. Those coin doors light up. Just head to GIJoelGaming.com. I'll have a link in the description that you can order them for $100. For $130, it's going to be an XL, so that's going to bring it up to as high as your standard Arcade1up cabinet. And I'm actually getting one for the NBA Jam, and it's going to be perfect. And that's the thing. That's why, you know what, it's going to have to be an incredible deal at this point for me to buy a Deluxe or a Shack Jam because of that. This is very playable. I've had it before. You make it the perfect height, comfortable. What do you need another one for? Only if you're getting an incredible deal. Remember that coffee mug we saw? Now they have Incredible Hulk, oven mitt, and pot holder. This is pretty nice. How much is it? $16.99. There is an incentive this weekend. Yesterday was a Super Saturday. Like they're throwing a bunch of stuff. Now you do have to spend a certain amount, but I do have Kohl's Cash. I'm coming back to use that. I do have a couple more days before that expires, but just noticed the Spider-Man towel. I honestly had no idea Countercades would be such a hit at the end of 2023. Thanks to Quarterdeck Arcade for telling me that just down the aisle, way in the corners where that NBA Jam was, that they did have Countercades over here. And I walked over here because, you know, these are the prices we've been seeing. Ms. Pac-Man Class 81, $179.99. And for $200, you're getting the Pac-Man Galaga head-to-head and the Pac-Man. Not sure why this is cheaper. None of the marquees light up, but G.I. Joel will have stands for the one player. They're actually a different size than the two-player Countercade, so I don't think they come back as far. The stands will be different. He does have a couple to go off of. So if you have a one player, definitely coming soon will be stands for one players. And we're greeted with Class 81 and NFL Blitz at Best Buy. It's been a couple of weeks since we've been at this location, and still sitting at $4.99 along with $5.99 for NFL Blitz. So this Still the same prices at Best Buy. Something to definitely watch to see if those Casino-cades do drop. It's a reminder that Terminator 2 $315 at Best Buy in store. That $499 will be over after this weekend, but you can always pick that up for $315. And I just want to encourage everybody to have a list. Pick out a couple, just so FOMO with us and get the best of you when we see some of these deals, because, you know, for me personally, if I buy an arcade, I'm gonna have to sell one. At this point, I have one spot remaining, and that's currently for NBA Jam, and now I'm kind of thinking Alien versus Predator, because it's so wide. It's just like a 4-player control deck, right? So the prices are gonna be tempting if we see something. Just make sure it's a cabinet you really want. And maybe we'll see some deals at Costco Black Friday. Definitely come back. Not sure we've been to this location since they've had stock in the Pac-Man or the Star Wars pinball, but still sticking to that firm price of $5.99 for Pac-Man, and you can just see above $6.99 for the Star Wars pinball. So maybe there's an incentive. If you go online, you'll see that this is $6.29 for Costco non-member, and I believe $7.29 for the Star Wars pinball, along with those partycades, the Pac-Man and NBA Jam, both at $1.99. Hopefully there'll be a deal. There was some incentives this weekend at Costco, ended today, or it's the start of it was yesterday, Saturday the 11th, that there was a lot of incentives. I think a lot of it was the food, but maybe we'll see something with Arcade1up. Just going back to those XLs when we were at the Garcade, I mean, if we could get everything in this form factor like we're seeing in Pac-Man, this would be awesome. The Star Wars, Ninja Turtles, along with that 2024 leaked list. I feel strong about a Big Red from SNK, Neo Geo, Lethal Enforcers, Pac-Man Royale, Alien vs. Predator, and of course, Smash TV Robotron 2084, along with that Total Carnage on there. A lot of stuff to look forward to, including these sales. Hopefully we'll see more new stuff. I want to thank everybody for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Actually, they have one Star Wars pinball remaining. You can see the floor model. So if it's true what we saw with Mike Worley, the bad guy Mike Worley's video, that there is a discount on floor models, definitely keep your eye on Costco. When they sell out the Pac-Man, the Star Wars, get it for a lot cheaper.